You overthinking again? Same. If you're an introvert or a shy human, come join us.
We're learning to grow and take up space. We're your hosts. I'm Kay.
And I'm Em. Welcome, everyone. This is episode 49. And as promised from previous episode, we're about to finalize Identity Season 3.
Yeah, in this episode, we just wanted to close up the chapter, for right now at least, on identity and just share some takeaways from what we've learned as shy, introverted overthinkers, tackling or diving into our identities to figure out who we've been, to know who we
E-
want to be.
Exactly. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, so quick little recap if you have not listened to any of our episodes before. Season 4, like we mentioned, was all about identity. Because we're in the middle of creating a new identity, we really wanted to dive deeper into why we are the way we are, the roles that we've played in our past, the roles we're currently in, and hopefully from that we were hoping that this new identity would form. And it has been, like, not as we thought.
For sure. I think also what we came to realize is that identity is just not a one set thing that you can just grab and switch out into. It's more of a continuous thing that just morphs and changes throughout time. And that could be revisiting old identities and creating new identities from it. We thought we were just becoming entirely new people when in reality we were just grabbing the parts that served us from our old identities and transforming it into something that we were happy with.
So to build a new identity, you have to figure out who you were, and that's, I think, the approach that we were taking unknowingly, but that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was something that we actually realized in real time during the episodes. And you know us, we love unraveling new things as we go because, again, we don't have all the answers. We're learning as we go. So I think that was a beautiful thing as well that we realized during the season.
Yeah, and with that, I remember through this season we kind of uncovered that our main identifiers of our personality, shy, introvert, overthinkers, were really defense mechanisms that we
Mhm.
developed over time. And we kind of came to the conclusion that if you are a shy, introvert, overthinker, you are that is a defense mechanism, right? You're trying to protect yourself from X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
And the identity that we're shifting towards now is to be an empowered shy, introvert, overthinker, because at the beginning, maybe looking at those qualities as more of flaws than empowered traits.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it got to the point as well where we were like, you know what, we just want to scrap it and try to build something new entirely. Like we want to be extroverted, we want to be not shy.
Mhm. When we started the podcast, we thought, oh, I don't want to be shy anymore. I don't want to be an introvert. It was like, how can we get to the opposite of who we are? And the beautiful part about identity was that we realized, okay, we're coping, but there are also beautiful sides to these personality traits, and we don't want to get rid of them. We just want to be capable of doing the things that we want to do as shy, introverted overthinkers, and that is actually possible. Like, these personality traits do not limit you, they do not limit us in any way. And I really do feel a lot more empowered after diving deep into why we became the way we are. Um, and I don't know, I feel lighter. How about you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. Feeling lighter. It's almost as if we were in real time journaling or going to like, I don't want to say a therapy session, but we actually hit some nerves that really, I mean, I'm going to speak for myself. I feel like it set me back, but in reality it didn't set me back. kind of like released something, or it gave me the chance to be able to accept, assimilate, or maybe process through it and then move on to the next. So it gave us room for growth.
Yes, I definitely I did see that for you as I saw it for myself. I feel like we went through many existential crises through this season, and we've talked about it in other episodes, but really when you're diving deep into who am I and who do I want to be, how can you not almost have a mental breakdown and really question you as a person. And I think that was the intention, although we didn't know that it was going to be as intense as it was.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the biggest part that was hard for me to accept was that these personality traits were a way for me to protect myself. I almost didn't want to accept it because it made me feel like, is my whole identity just a huge shield of protection against anything that could potentially hurt me? And if that's the case, like, have I really been living my life the way that I want to live it? And I think there was some shame and embarrassment and anger around all of that, to be honest. We talked about a little bit in this season about our upbringing and potential reasons why we came to have these defense mechanisms, and obviously we didn't talk about everything. We are still processing everything. Um, but I think that we got like a rough idea, no, or like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously with anything that goes on social media, you can't give all the truth, and but regardless of that, we were able to find certain things that we identified as I don't want to say problematic, but that kind of maybe led to something, right? And um I don't know, we were able to process through it or get through it even though it was it was really hard. There was a moment where we had kind of like a disconnect between each other because we were dealing with so many unresolved emotions and just things in general that we weren't able to put like a name on it. So I feel like that's another thing that popped up during the season, and I'm sure that, whoever is listening can probably identify with, a day you feel like you're not at your best and you're trying to put yourself out in the world, and people can perceive that as if, like, you're upset or, you don't wanna hang out or you don't wanna do a certain thing, but in reality, like, you're going through that and you don't have the words to explain, or to ask for help, for that matter. So I feel like that also got translated during the season.
That was another impacted part to this season, that Em and I's relationship. I mean, obviously we're friends and that's why we're doing this podcast, but as we're healing and learning how to communicate what we are going through, and like Em said, a lot of times we don't have the words for it. And I feel like it was hard for both of us to be vulnerable with one another at certain parts and like say, "Hey, I'm actually like really going through it right now,"
Mhm.
and not make the other person feel bad, or like, I don't know, I guess feel like, for me personally, like in this example, I have like a deep wound that I'm trying to work through, where
Mhm.
I can be hyper vigilant, and like if I feel that people's tone is off, or if their move, like the way their body is moving is different than normally when they're in a good mood, then I tend to immediately assume that that person is mad at me, that I've done something wrong,
Mhm.
and pretty much that they hate me. Um, so, like in this scenario, as Em was like processing, going through her own healing journey, I picked up on a different energy, and I thought, "Oh my gosh, she's mad at me." And then I started coming up with all these scenarios as to, like, why she's mad at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'll stop here. Do you wanna chip in anything on your end while we were going through this?"
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. We're being honest of how things went through. When you're not used to being like vulnerable with people or being able to express yourself, like what you're feeling, like Kay was saying, that can come across like you're giving off a different type of vibe. And that definitely happened between us. Like most likely I wasn't able to find the words to say, "Hey, you know what? I don't feel good right now. It's not your fault, this and that." Um, but again, it's like the whole processing thing, not knowing who you are at the moment, coming to realizations of like childhood stuff that you definitely hadn't gone to, uh, was definitely
Mm.
like an eye opener. And again, for whoever's listening, if you're going through something like that, just make sure that you are able to communicate with the people that love you that you're not in a good space. And you don't have to give it a full explanation. You just say, like, I'm not in a good space. I can't right now. If the people that love you still stick with you, those are the people that you should definitely have in your life. And luckily, like,
Mhm.
Kay and myself, we have this really strong friendship building that we're creating, that we're able to come back and reevaluate these things and be able to talk about them later on too, right?
Yeah, I think it's so important to talk about, your feelings and well, each other's feelings. In our scenario, like,
Mhm.
I don't even remember how we started talking about it. I think I may have said, "Hey, is everything okay?" And I even hesitated asking M that because I think this was like 2 weeks of us being off, and, like, I
Yeah.
felt it. I was like, "I don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
And then I just said,
Mind
"You
you,
know
like
what?
2
I
episodes
can't."
had passed, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, we had recorded for social media for our podcast, and probably if you I mean, I feel like if when I rewatch and re-listen, I
Mhm.
can tell that the vibe is different.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, especially if you have a podcast or if you're doing content creation, like, you and your friend and co-creator need to have more check-ins with one another,
Mhm.
um, because we always want, like, the podcast and our content that we create to come from a place of, like, growth and, like, a higher vibration, and not that there's anything low in the sense where it's bad, but
Mhm.
when we are processing, we are just not at this, like, super positive, and that's real too, right? Like,
Yeah.
we are
Mhm.
going to go through our lows, and that's okay too. Um, so I hope I make that clear. I don't wanna sound like we can't create if we're not
No.
perfect or feeling
No,
perfect.
it came out human, as in, no one's gonna be at their best all the time, especially if you're digging into, like, your personal, like, stuff. It's hard. But,
Mhm.
I think overall, it's good to be able to talk to people about the things that are happening through your mind. So, definitely if you're trying to work through your identity, make sure you're able to write it, talk, you know, but it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And I think, just to reiterate what Em said earlier, because I think it is really important. If you are feeling something, you don't be afraid, although I know it's easier said than done, to tell the people that love you and that where that love is reciprocated, that you are going through something, and you do not ever have to feel obligated to go into details with people. Like Em and I told her, I was like, "Hey, you don't have to go into details with me, but I just want to make sure, like, are you okay?"
Mhm.
And then we came up with, like, a little code. She would send me this emoji if she's, like, going through something, and it's a
Yeah.
specific emoji with Um, and that's it. I was like, "I'm not gonna ask you anything." I know something that you said at the moment and was like that you felt stuck and you didn't know how to, like, move forward, right? It was
Mhm.
like or how to I don't know, I don't wanna put words in your mouth, but do you wanna go into that? Because I feel like people out there probably share that.
For sure. No, I think, there's gonna be a lot of people that might share the same sentiment where it's like Kay was saying, I remember saying that I felt very stuck. I felt like I wanted to move forward, but I didn't have, like, the words, physically inside, I didn't know how to move forward. Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional right now. But, I don't know, I guess whenever there's, like, pent up things, emotions, and if you're not if you if you didn't learn how to be able to express those things before, and you're going through a moment of, processing in a healthy way, the way that we're doing, it's hard. It is really hard, and, communication sometimes is, like, the key, but it's also maybe the hindrance of it. Like, you can't move forward from it. So, um, again, if whoever's going through that, uh I know it seems like there won't be a way for you to just be able to move forward from that, but there is. And again, not to sound like a broken record, you have to find a safe space or someone or even writing it down where you're able to just let it out, because otherwise that blockage is still going to continue, and it might affect the people around you as well.
Yeah, without even realizing it, and, thank you, for sharing, and I feel like, there's a couple of things that you said, so that's why I wanna make sure to uh, speak on those too, because I think they are really good call outs. Like one of them you said, create a safe space, and even if you don't have people who can be a safe space for you, you have to take ownership and responsibility of creating that for yourself, and
Mhm.
journaling is such a good way to get those feelings, those thoughts out of your system. It's such a good way to process, like, even talking to yourself out loud. Don't let
Mhm. Mhm.
everything that maybe feels heavy just stay inside of you. Talk to yourself, have a conversation out loud. Um, if you don't have people around you, or if you just don't feel ready to talk to people about what you're feeling. Um, but I really do hope that anybody that's listening does have at least one safe person to go to. But if you can't, feel free to maybe comment an emoji. We should create one for the audience,
Yeah.
for the listener.
Exactly. Yeah. Or again, like we always say, we're an email away, and, we're not gonna expose the email or anything, so it's a safe space here. But I think the
Yeah.
key the key in itself is you need to realize that you need to choose yourself, and no one's gonna tell you when is the right moment to actually get that out of you. You have to choose that moment because, again, like Kay was saying, it's not easy, and maybe some people are not ready for it. I know for the longest time I wasn't ready for it, but I chose to be ready. So I encourage that for you
Mm.
too. Sorry, I kind of like in I just wanted to add to that, but
Yeah, yeah, no, all good. And really quickly, if you are going through something that's weighing you down right now, comment, maybe like some kind of a notebook emoji, like a journal, and we can add a little comment just to know, just so you sometimes an action is just doing that,
Mhm.
like, even if you think it might be so small, it can be so freeing. It's like, "Okay, there, I let it out there that
Yeah.
I'm going through something."
Mhm.
And it's that small action that over time builds your, like, comfortability to be able to go to people and tell them what you're going through. I still struggle with this myself. I feel like I've improved, but I mean, there's times where I don't know what I'm feeling, and if you have the
Yeah.
resources for therapy, definitely I would encourage that. For me, that has been my like outlet for the past 2 years, and I feel like it has made such a difference for me. But again, like, you can have therapy, you can have your notebook, you can literally talk to yourself. Literally, there's so many avenues, so don't get stuck thinking that there is no way to release what you're feeling. You just gotta find something that works for you at this time and
Yeah.
know that over time it can change.
That is true. That is true.
Um, and then I guess one more thing that I wanna say, like, speaking to my wound, like, all this time, was going through something, and I was thinking, "Oh my gosh, she's angry at me." Uh, Something really cool that I started implementing that I have been using on and off, but another tool, um, we haven't had a drill sound in
I
forever,
know.
so you already heard it.
Another tool. Yeah.
Another tool is, I actually picked this up from, I don't know if anybody knows the actor Joshua Bassett. He's also a singer, High School Musical, the musical, I don't know, something like that. That's like after my years. But um, he has he was on a podcast and he shared this prompt that he does when he is feeling a very heavy feeling, like a trigger, let's say, right? And, actually, do you have that in front of you? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. So the prompt, and I think this is so useful if you are, again, going through something. So you are going to first write down the thoughts, whatever it is. So like in this example, I'm gonna say, "Oh, M is mad at me. She hates me," right? Sorry,
Damn.
not it, but I'm giving the example, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're
Wait,
gonna
wait.
say,
For the record, I was
uh-huh.
never upset at you, okay?
No.
There's no I would never
Yes.
be upset, especially you. Okay, go ahead.
Mm, yeah, yeah, she was not it again, it was, her own stuff, and little disclaimer, most of the time when people are I don't know, what I'm trying to say is, like, most of the time people are just going through stuff,
Mhm,
and it's nothing to do with you, but anyway, so first thought. Second is the feeling. What is the feeling that the thought is causing you to feel? Like, for example, for me, I felt like scared, on the edge, like guilty, shameful, etc. Right?
mhm.
And then like the next one would be your impulse. What is this feeling and thoughts causing you to do? In my case, it was like, just don't acknowledge everything, pretend everything is fine, just keep going because I don't want to make this person even more angry. And when, this is kind of like me in general. Again, something I'm working on. And then the truth. This is where you're gonna speak evidence, okay? Like, what outside of like you thinking that they're mad, could the truth be they're going through something? Did they recently like tell you they had a tough conversation? Could it be related to that? Anything that is going to bring some I guess like
Clarity, maybe?
not bias, clarity,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, clarity, that's a good one. So in this case, like, I could be like, "Well, Em and I did have a tough conversation in our last podcast episode. We were processing a lot. Could it be related to that?" Truth is the last step, and then from that, like, what you'll notice is that as you're going through each of these, I feel like it takes you from, like, your emotional brain more into your logical brain,
Mm,
and at least that's what it did for me. I was like, "Oh, okay, wait a second, like, things are kinda making more sense. Maybe it's not me. Could this be my wound that I already know that I have?"
mhm.
And that's literally what it was for me. So, give it a try if you haven't. I think it is so, so useful. I think Joshua Bassett said his therapist told him of this,
Okay.
but I love it.
Yeah, and, honestly, you can apply it to anything in your life, I feel like. You know what I mean? If you want, like, the end result of something or to, like, process something in real time really quick so you can find an answer, I think that would be very helpful
Yeah. Yeah. With anything. Any thoughts that are just,
going through
um,
there.
what do you call this? Yeah,
Wheeling,
if you're
swirling
ever in
around. Oh,
the
the
spiral,
hamster. Oh,
yes.
I'm like the hamster wheel.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts that are spiraling. But yeah, I think this season has been really transformative, not to be corny and all,
For sure.
but
No,
it
but
has. And
uh-huh. No, it really has. And which I was actually gonna be like, okay, so another good thing that happened in this season is that we were able to take a break, reevaluate ourselves, and come back even stronger. But before we did all of that, we, obviously, like, we've said this like 3 times already, but we met up. We had, like, this mini vacation together that just it was a good time, but during those vacations, we actually did things that allowed us to grow as people, challenges, right? Kay, I don't know if you wanna give more
mhm.
details on that.
Yeah. So one of the ones that I'll quickly talk about, we have talked about this in other episodes. There's like more details on it, but was just being more present, but also just having fun. Like not taking ourselves so seriously. I feel like in the past, I know for myself, it was hard for me to just let my goofy side out, outside of my home, you know? At home, all introverts, we know how it is here when we're by ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, and we did like a challenge where we're just dancing in the woods and we recorded ourselves, we posted it for social media. But that alone, I kid you not, like Em and I feel like we thought this wasn't gonna do anything. Like it felt horrifying to do it,
Mhm.
but we were laughing, we felt present, and we definitely understand now why people do all these trends, which we didn't really understand
Yeah.
before, because sometimes the purpose is just fun,
Yeah,
not
fun
deeper than that.
fun, have a quick laugh, enjoy your silliness and your awkwardness. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable, which is one of the main things. And I feel like because we did that, I don't know, didn't you feel like something shifted within us creating content,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like we opened a window that we didn't know
Mhm.
was there, and it's like, "Oh, wait a second, we could actually just be more of our, like, kid-like self in this format too, and it doesn't just have to stay hidden behind closed doors, you know?"
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that was, it was a game changer. Mhm.
Yeah, and we unlocked this new part of our identity of just not giving 2 shits and recording in a public area. After we did that, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like my inner kid was giving me a hug and she was saying, "Finally, bitch. Finally, you let me out."
Yeah.
Like, in
N
public, like I deserve to be out in public too, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. No, definitely there was a moment where it's like, "Oh, I mean, I guess it's just not that serious." You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
yeah, and maybe it was even us just screaming to be able to, like, let loose, you know what I mean? Because of all of this time that we've been just so, like, pent up into, like, tiny little shells, we were just screaming to get out,
Mhm.
and when we did it, like, everything started pouring out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we also, like, just, we recorded other, like, what's in our bag, just being silly, and again, with the whole theme of it's not that serious. We
Mhm.
were laughing the whole time, and it's not just, like, something for social media. It was a way it was like, what do you call it? Like
Some
exposure therapy.
Yeah, it was ultimately for us because I mean, how many times did we record because it was so fun?
Yeah. it was good times, and I would definitely recommend if you just have the thought, "You know what? That could be fun for me to do." Doesn't even have to be in the content creation world,
Mhm.
just in your personal life.
Yeah.
Taking a class, just do it. And
Mhm.
how you are going to feel so good about yourself after. And I feel like a little part of you heals when you
Mhm.
do things just for the fun of it. Like having fun is healing. Because before our trip, we were very serious. We were putting so much pressure and like we want this podcast to pop off because
Mhm.
we love being able to hopefully be helpful to others who are going through our similar experiences. And we were getting a little too we were putting too many expectations on ourselves, like we have to get here by this certain time, we have to like put as much content as we can create. And
Yeah.
thankfully, against our own will or like very stubbornly, we were like, you know what? No, we need to take a break.
But yeah, we definitely we were I mean, apart from, like, the season being very loaded and heavy topics, and then us obviously putting our own pressure on our own lives, it did it felt like a very stagnant project. It almost felt like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know if we wanna do this anymore," even though that didn't really happen, but it felt like, so much pressure, and this was supposed to be fun, like, what the hell? So, definitely, if you feel like you're stuck in any project or any aspect of your lives, maybe sometimes taking a step back, maybe 3 and, like, taking a pause is super helpful. Because 1, you get a
Mhm.
chance to, like, relax, reset, but you also get a chance to reevaluate, like, what are your goals? What are your end goals? What are you trying to accomplish with what you're doing? Is it helping you or is it hindering you? You know what I mean? So, the pause definitely helped us.
It did. And we just came back with more energy to give to this project with a refreshed perspective and enthusiasm for this. So, unlike growing up, I feel like I was always taught you work hard for what you get, or you work hard for the thing you want, right? And taking breaks is not really something that I grew up observing. And now I totally can see why sometimes people recommend taking a break because in the long run is going to benefit you.
When you take a step back, when you actually take that break or that vacation, it might actually benefit the project or whatever you're trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a win-win. Maybe your pocket suffers a little if you're going on vacation.
'Tis true, but I mean, again, you have to be smart with how you budget or but that's another
Yeah. Yeah, that's
conversation.
another, and probably for a different podcast about people who
Yeah.
can know how to budget, but, well, like, for vacation. Anyways, so, yeah, I mean, I think I would challenge anyone out there to
Mhm.
put a little more thought into who you are right now, and is this who you wanna be in the future? And don't necessarily go into it all into once, like, "I need to become this new person tomorrow." It is a slow process. It is one that Em and I are still diving into. This was, like, the beginning of a long journey, but to start exploring and challenging your current identity is so rewarding, and I'm really excited to see where we're gonna be a year from now. Little quick side note, for those that don't know, Em and I, tomorrow is gonna be our 1 year of posting
Yes.
of
Mhm.
having our podcast. Like, our first episode went live July 29th of last year, and
Mhm.
we had been posting weekly, like, on a
Mhm.
weekly basis. We've been meeting, like, almost 5 times a week. since
Mhm.
we started. And while I do think that hustling is a good quality to have, it's smart to be able to know how to do that so you can tap into it. But like after almost a year, literally like 11 months of Em and I doing that, we had reached a point where we were just
Yeah, that's
almost
where
breaking apart.
yeah, no, that's where the burnout comes in, and again, clear example of, yes, hustle at the appropriate time to hustle, but also learn to actually take the break when you need the break. And then guess what? You'll get the best
Mhm.
content, you'll get the best results, you'll feel better. Um, but yeah, we definitely encourage that. Alrighty, guys, so we're gonna start wrapping it up. Again, this was such a actually, I feel like this was a great idea to do, as in this recap of the season, because when we started the season and then going through it, we kind of felt very lost and we thought that our message wasn't coming through. But now that that we've done this, I feel like you can see the threads of how we ended up here where we're at.
Mhm. Yeah, and again, it has been really transformational. And if you could take one thing away from this episode, from our whole identity series, is that who you are is not fixed. You can change, you can transform. I think I like transform better. You can
Mhm.
transform into somebody completely different, or somebody as you are, but an empowered version of that. And I think once we accept that we can constantly change, it's so freeing, and you have like a big just sigh of release. Keep working on yourselves, keep asking yourself the questions, check in with yourself, and you'll be okay, I think, eventually.
For sure. Yes. So we will leave our email in the description. And again, if you don't have anyone to reach out with, we're just an email away, a comment away, a message away. And finally, we're going back to posting on Sundays. So expect the next episode on Sunday. We'll have a lovely guest for next episode.
And we hope that you have a great rest of your week. And most importantly, don't forget, we're rooting for you. Bye.
Bye, guys.